his true identity for fear of losing his job with Staffordshire Police. Now, though, he has nothing to lose. Stuart Davidson has been telling our correspondent Peter Wilson how he hopes his move will mean he can focus on stopping crime rather than filling in forms.
He's been undercover for 18 months as his internet blog became a hit and a spin-off book a bestseller. Now we can reveal the man, PC Stuart Davidson. He angered government ministers when he claimed 80% of police time was wasted and that once he was the only officer in Burton free to respond to emergencies.
While there may be lots of other police officers on duty at that time, in terms of police officers available and able to respond to calls from the public, it's only ever going to be 6 or 7. So while it may be a nice story that I was on my own, the serious side of it is there aren't that many of us anyway.
40,000 people have bought the book. Now the Home Office appears to be doing a U-turn on police red tape. But PC Davidson is leaving Staffordshire Police to emigrate to Canada and join the boys in blue in Edmonton. He says they do things differently in the land of the Mounties.
Straight after the briefing, which was exactly the same as the kind of briefing you get in Burton-on-Trent, every member of the shift left the station to go and look for criminals. We'd love to go looking for criminals. We really would love to go looking for criminals. It's just the time. Handcuffed for both of them to the shopping trolley.
But he has been a crime fighter. Stuart Davidson has kept a log of his arrests in the town of Burton-on-Trent. His former bosses, Staffordshire Police, say it's misleading to claim that PC Davidson was on his own in the town. And their research shows that 62% of response officers' time is spent out at the station. But although he's proud of his time in Staffordshire, he claims that targets and red tape are forcing some officers to quit.
There are hundreds of officers who are going abroad. But there's a qualitative issue as well. What does it say about the society that we live in, where the very people who are supposed to be protecting us have had enough and are leaving?
PC Davidson left Staffordshire Police in June to begin his training with the Canadian Police. He starts his new life there in October, but as he drove me around his old beat, I wondered what his colleagues thought of him and that book.
A good read. Well written. Nicely presented.
Is it a sad loss this guy going to Canada?
Yes, it is. Yeah, good police officer. Nice friend.
He calls himself a very ordinary man, but by lifting the lid on what life is really like on the thin blue line, it may have put pressure on those at the very top to cut the red tape. Peter Wilson, BBC Midlands Today, Burton-on-Trent.
Well, we wanted to hear it from the Home Office or a senior police officer, but no one was prepared to talk to us. Staffordshire Police did say, though, that they're doing everything they can to cut red tape, and they point out that they plan to spend £11 million getting more frontline officers out onto the beat.
But is Stuart Davidson right? Are hundreds of police officers leaving to work abroad? One Australian police force is currently looking for 5